Hi, I am TJ and this is Life Lessons. If this looks familiar, it's because I had it on yesterday. Yes, I'm tired. I had my Tinkerlink last night, so the parental units could have a date night. My Tinkerlink is my granddaughter, the youngest grandbaby, so the parents could have a date night. And I slept in, and I'm tired. But anyway, thank you, sweetheart, for this comment. And I wanted to highlight this one because this is not new. Because you said you bring about awareness about how horrible leadership is behind the scenes. That's not new. You know, when I was coming through the ranks, one of my first mentors in the military said that I would be motivated by both kinds of leaders. The good ones or the great ones to let me know what kind of leader I wanted to be, and the bad ones to let me know the kind of leader I never wanted to be. There's always, that's because see, they're comprised of people. And there are good and bad people. There are selfless people and there are selfish people. And I've always been a selfless person rather. And to be honest, that is one of the reasons when I was an enlisted soldier, I wanted to be an officer. Not to say that I couldn't have been a leader as a non-commissioned officer, but as a junior soldier, I remember seeing all the hard work and doing a lot of the hard work that, the junior soldiers or junior sailors did, but the other people, higher rank, got all the credit for it. So I wanted to be the change. And the best part that I felt that the best way I could do that was by becoming an officer and be the type of leader that I wish that I had. And in some cases, I did have. And I still, some of the sayings that I say, I actually got from my enlisted soldiers or my NCOs. So you will find in any industry, there are good and bad leaders. And I think, I'm going to go ahead and do this. That's what set me apart. And that's why even when I had to square my troops away, get with them if you will. They didn't like it, but they knew my motivation was because I cared about them. And I wanted them to take it to the next level, not cheat themselves rather. I got stuff for you. One of my soldiers, I was at the MEPS, San Diego MEPS. Gosh, I was early 2000, maybe 2000. And actually, she was older than me, okay? And she was a E5. I was a first lieutenant then. I hadn't got promoted to captain. And one of the things for development is that each soldier would have to give a training, okay? And my vocabulary is not as extensive as it once was, but I like to pronounce and enunciate words. And if I'm not sure how to pronounce them, I would practice. And so my soldiers knew my expectations. So she gave this, and she had a very southern drawl, and that's not even the issue. But hold that thought. So she gets up and gives her training, and because she's talking about countries, different things that have, a challenge to pronounce. She chopped up these names so badly, and I'm just sitting in the back of the room, I'm seething. But I kept it together. After it was over, you got to debrief. I got her in my office, up one side, down the other. And as I went up one side, down the other, and she was crying and crying. Well, ma'am, everybody didn't go to college like you did. Everyone didn't talk like that. I said, stop. Just stop. Stop. I said, this has nothing to do with whether or not you went to college or not. It has everything to do with preparation. And if you weren't sure, you know that you could have come up in here. You asked me when you want to take leave. You asked me when you want to do this. You could have came up in here and said, ma'am, can I do a brief in front of you before I go before the group? I said, you could have done that. I said, well, let me tell you what we're going to do. You're going to do another training. And you're going to prepare. She did. And did. Do you know we still Facebook friends? She refuses to call me by my first name, and I've been out since 2007. But I cared about her. And she went on to be an EA, got her college degree. Yes. So, But see, I poured into my people, and I had some expectations for them. Some lived up to those expectations, and some didn't. But it wasn't because they didn't have the support from me. And it wasn't because they didn't have the example, because I made sure to set it. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Take that with you.